It feels weird labeling it a priest post, but give the people what they want. Hi, this is Father Andrew, and this is the Priest's Post. Today, we're going to be talking about Ezekiel 47, which is our first reading today. Here we go. So the prophet Ezekiel lived during a tumultuous time in the history of Israel. In Jerusalem, his family was a line of priests. So Ezekiel was sent to become a priest. But in his 30th year, he writes about how he was taken away. He and so many of the leaders of the nation of Israel were taken out of Jerusalem into Babylon. The leaders were taken away out of Jerusalem into Babylon, and they were held there in captivity. Now, the Babylonian captivity lasted for 70 years, which isn't comforting as you sit at home and not knowing how long you're going to be in your house. But 70 years, this nation is in, all of its leaders are in Babylon, away from Jerusalem, away from all their relatives. But Ezekiel is super important. He was 30 years old when he was taken away. That was the year he was set to become a priest in the temple. That he had been looking forward to the things that were going to be happening in the next few months. And it was taken away from him. And he moved into captivity, not knowing when he's going to come back. This is a tough time for Ezekiel. But during that time, as he's in Babylon, he's receiving visions that the Lord is giving him about the nation of Israel, who they as a people will become after this exile is over. He's also receiving visions about the world, about all of creation and how the Lord is going to restore creation. Fast forward to the end of Ezekiel's letter, to the end of his prophecies, chapter 47, and that was today's first reading. He gets this vision of a temple, and it's not described as being in Jerusalem. He sees this new temple, and outside of it flows water coming out of the temple. And Ezekiel's wading through the water, and it's ankle deep at first, and then it's knee deep at first. It gets deeper and deeper. The water gets waist deep, and it's flowing east into the arid region, into these salty waters. Now, if you know anything about the geography of Jerusalem, east of Jerusalem is the Dead Sea. And all of the area around it is deserted, basically. That there's no life that grows there. But here Ezekiel goes, and he's wandering in these fresh waters. And as the water flows by, everything around there becomes teeming with life. All of the deserted area starts growing bushes. Animals start to crop up. Trees grow. All around the Dead Sea. Nothing grows in the Dead Sea. Fish don't live there. Nothing lives in the Dead Sea. But the Lord's prophecy is that even the most deserted, even the most arid, even the most dry and desolate places on the earth can teem with life. Every place that the Lord touches and desires to allow to grow will. What is this temple that Ezekiel's prophesying about? Where is this temple? This temple is Jesus. Jesus says, as a prophecy about himself, destroy this temple, and in 3 days, it will be raised up. 3 days, that's all it's going to take for Jesus to be raised up. And then sure enough, they destroy that temple, and out of the side of his temple, his body, come gushing out blood and water. And the church fathers always took that blood and that water to symbolize the blood, the Eucharist. And the water is baptism. That flowing from these two sacraments especially, we have every grace, everything we need to teem with life, to grow in abundant life. That your baptism matters. That receiving Jesus in the Holy Communion matters. That even the most dead parts of our hearts can teem with life, can grow because of the sacraments that Jesus gives us. That's good news. This is Ezekiel's prophecy come to fruition. It's the person of Jesus. He gives us this beautiful vision that he is the living temple. But what is this garden? Everywhere that the life is teeming, it's Eden. We go back to Eden. Every grace that we need to live with God, to walk with God, is given to us, especially through the sacraments. We have graces from our baptism that we've still not received, but God desires to give it to us. And while we don't know how long we're going to be in captivity, we see this vision that the Lord is going to give us everything we need following our exile, following our captivity, which feels so strong right now. But we can't wait for the Lord because he gives us so much hope about what's to come in the future. That's our message for you today, that we receive all of God's graces, that he would give life to even the most dry, arid regions of our heart right now. And that's a message of hope. We need Ezekiel in his prophecy. We need Jesus in every grace that he wants to bring us. All we have to do is ask. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time on the Priest Post. I think we're done. And that's it. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, we're done.